and welcome back to another monthly TBR video. Today we're going to be choosing my TBR for July using the TBR prompt jar again. I've just been having so much luck with this recently and I feel like I'm flying through my TBR and really getting to books that maybe I've been avoiding a bit or putting off or just, I don't know, wouldn't necessarily have picked up if I hadn't been using this to sort of direct me towards them. And I've had 2 really good reading months since using this, so it's definitely working. And it's also just so much fun, isn't it, choosing from the prompt jar. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We are currently having, I think I mentioned in my last video as well, so I'm going to be going on about it a bit, but we're currently in the middle of a heat wave in the UK, so it's so hot and I've put on my most summery outfit, hoping that we get a really summery TBR to match it. If at any point today I'm like out of breath or I look like I'm sweating, then it's because I am, because it's really hot and we're just not equipped for it in the UK. It's a bit unbearable. So before we get into the TBR for July, let's have a look at how I did with my TBR for June. So I'll put them on screen here now. These are the 6 books that we chose in my June TBR video. To be honest, I thought I would have done a bit better with this one because we had some really good picks, some nice summery reads, but I went on holiday and I was expecting to read a lot more than I did on holiday, and because I didn't read much then and then coming back and getting back into work and filming videos, I don't know, I haven't been reading much, I guess. So of these 6 books, I have read or I'm currently reading 4 of them, so I'll leave those ones highlighted. So yeah, only 4 out of the 6, and the last 2, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren and Happy Place by Emily Henry, I just don't feel like I'm going to want to reach for them in the next week. So we'll throw them back into the options for July because I might want to read one of them in July if they come up. So 4 out of 6 for June, not as well as I did in May, but I think that's still pretty good, 4 out of 6. Yeah, let's get into choosing for July and hopefully I can complete this one. If you've seen my previous TBR videos, then you know that I mostly choose from my Goodreads TBR list because I just read mostly on my Kindle and it's just more of a selection, more options, and it makes this more fun. And then I do have some books on my shelves that we can choose from, particularly these ones up here, a few romances. I think that's about it that we have on the shelves, so we will be using Goodreads. Without further rambling, let's get into the first pick. I'm getting hot already, this isn't a good sign. So the first pick, I'm going to hold it up to you guys so you can see first. Oh, can't read that. What do we have? Oh, a book you've been avoiding. The first one that comes to mind is Magnolia Parks because I think that is the one that I've been avoiding the most, and I do have the physical copy here. So Magnolia Parks is kind of top of my avoiding list because the toxic relationships that I keep hearing about, I just don't know if it's for me. So Magnolia Parks is the top of that list, but let's see if I have any others on Goodreads. Bride by Ali Hazelwood is another one that I've definitely been avoiding because I'm just not sure about it. I read Check and Mate and I really enjoyed that book, but I haven't read any of her other work, and Bride in particular I've heard such mixed things about. Some people really like it, some people not too sure, and yeah, I don't know, I've definitely been avoiding that one. It's like a werewolf fantasy romance, isn't it? And there's some parts of it that I've heard mentioned that I'm just not sure if I'm gonna like, so there's not really any books on here that I'm avoiding. I really want to read all the books that I add to my TBR, obviously that's why I add them, so I think I'm stuck between Bride by Ali Hazelwood or Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Is it time that I finally read Magnolia Parks? Because I was kind of thinking as well that when I read this, I might go into London for the day, and there's a park, isn't there, that's like popular in this, Holland Park, is it where Magnolia lives? So I was thinking of maybe going there, sitting there for a bit and reading it, and just going to a few parks around London, a few coffee shops, and kind of like getting a bit of that atmosphere around it as well to maybe make it a bit more enjoyable and kind of get lost in the story. So I could do that in July. That sounds like a nice little solo day out. I think I'm going to do Magnolia Parks. I think I've just talked myself into it that day, so I'm going to add Magnolia Parks to my July TBR. We're finally going to see if I understand what all the hype is about. I'm actually quite excited now. We're going to read Magnolia Parks. Let's go on to the second prompt. I think I have one in here that just says Magnolia Parks because I was avoiding it that much, so hopefully we don't get that one. Hopefully we get that one in a later month now and then I can read a next book in the series. So prompt number 2. Goodreads homepage. This is actually a really good one because they've just come out with their most read books for the first half of 2025. So I feel like maybe that's going to be on their homepage. Let's have a look. Let me record my screen because I never do this and it'll be so helpful if I do. Recording my screen so we can have it on screen here. Okay, so Goodreads, this is my TBR. So let's go to Discover. Ooh, okay, right off the bat, I don't have anything here on my TBR. So let's go to, oh, where did it go? I saw it the other day. Do you know what's right there at the top that I actually really want to read in July? It's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's right there at the top. And also Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. I really want to read that one as well. I think they're the ones that I've seen first, so I guess it is between those two. Oh, that's exciting. So we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is her new release, and I read Malibu Rising this year and it was my favourite book of the year so far in my mid-year reading wrap-up, but I haven't read any of her other books and kind of want to read this one first to like be involved in the hype and just the new release excitement. So we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It feels like a very July summery read as well, doesn't it? Like, I don't know. I think I want to read that one. And then the other one is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. And I've not read any books by them before, so I don't know if I really want to start with the new release in this case, but I have heard good things. I think it's a bit of like an LGBT romance, which would be something different for me because I've not read anything like that before and I would really like to and get to read a different story like that. It's also vampire romance. So two very different options there. I think you already know. I'm going to choose Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm gravitating towards that one. I was most excited when I saw it there, so we are going to read that one. I'm just reading up about it and it sounds so good. So Taylor Jenkins Reid does historical fiction and this one's no different. It's 1980s and we're following a woman who sees an advertisement to become the first woman scientist in NASA's space program. She puts through an application and it looks like we're going to follow her journey going through training at the space station. It just sounds like such a good read. I have really high hopes for this one. Can't wait to read it. So that is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid and that's going to be our second pick for July. July is looking so good so far. I'm actually really excited by this. I wasn't too sure going into July what I wanted to read. That's why the prompt jar works so well because it just pushes you in the right direction. Let's see what we get next. Third pick. Oh, one dropped out. Let's get that one. Okay, the one that fell on the floor. Let's choose that one. I am getting a bit hot. Third pick. Oh, I think it's upside down. What's that? A couple on the cover. Okay. We can do that, So we could do Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is one that I don't think I'm going to get to in June and it is on my TBR. We could move this one into July. That's one option. Or we could go for Funny Story instead, which I'm kind of thinking I might want to read Funny Story first now because I read Book Lovers and Beach Read and I don't know, I just feel like Happy Place might give something a bit similar to that. Funny Story might as well, but it's also a bit different, isn't it? Because it's just a very different situation that they start in. I think in Funny Story, we're following the two characters whose partners have just left them to be with each other and they kind of start as friends or acquaintances. They get thrown into like forced proximity and they have to live together, I think it is. So it's all just quite different. Funny Story is definitely an option and I might want to read this one. Summer Romance. It has like their hands on the cover, but not really. It is a couple on the cover. So we have Summer Romance, that could be a good one. Let's have a look on Goodreads and see if we've got any more options. Funny Story is kind of calling to me. Loads on Goodreads. So we have When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This is the first book in the When in Rome series and this might actually be a really good one to be a very light-hearted romance, I think it is. I think whenever it comes to like Emily Henry's books, there's like a bit of like women's fiction in there as well and it's a bit, you're following their stories as well. It's not as light-hearted. Oh, I don't know, it kind of is, but it's not like a silly, goofy rom-com and I feel like When in Rome might be light-hearted, silly, goofy rom-com. And because I have Magnolia Parks, which definitely is not that, and Atmosphere, which again, not that, When in Rome could be a really good option actually. A good one for July. Summer in the City by Alex Astor, that's a new release, but I go to New York in August and I kind of want to save any New York based books for then. All the romance books have a couple on the cover, so I'm going to choose between When in Rome by Sarah Adams and Funny Story by Emily Henry. I feel like like these could be two like really fun summary reads. I've just read two Emily Henrys. That's why I'm not going to read Happy Place this month, I think, because I've read two like pretty close together, so I kind of want to space out the rest a little bit more. I've answered my question, haven't I? I'm going to do When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Hopefully it is like a really good, light-hearted rom-com and gives that sort of vibe that I want. When in Rome by Sarah Adams is going to be my third pick. Oh, I'm actually excited by that one because the new release, what was the new one? Beg, Borrow or Steal. I think that came out, was it this year? It came out in January and everyone was talking about that one. So it would be good to get up to date in that series as well. When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Let's get on to pick number 4. I'm not going to tidy up my shelves because I feel like I'm just going to like grab more from there. Okay, number 4. Just unstick my hair from my body because I am very sticky at the moment. Number 4. We have, oh, most recent purchase. Okay, so that is this section up here. I just got really excited for a moment. So these 5 books here: A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman, The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley, and then 3 Taylor Jenkins Reid books. We have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, and then Carrie Soto is Back. I bought all of those on my last book shopping trip. And also Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I'm not going to read Say You'll Remember Me. I am more excited by the books up here. I can't really pick another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, can I? Because I'm going to do Atmosphere. So we have Atmosphere, Magnolia Parks, When in Rome. Okay, no, that's fine because then, okay, so the choice is going to be between, ooh, well, let's move these over a bit because I know they're going to knock that plant off if they tip. That leaves us with The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley or A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. Frederick Backman is one that I really want to read this year. I want to read this one so that I can then get into the Beartown trilogy. And then The Ministry of Time, I just heard good things. I'm not in a rush to pick it up, but it'll be a good read like at the right time. The main reason I bought it was for the cover. The cover's really cute with like the pink spine and then the blue front. I just thought that looked really cool. And I do want to read it, I'm just not in a rush. So it's going to be A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. And when I bought this, I think I compared it to like Up, where there's like a grumpy man and he meets people who sort of bring him out of like his grumpy place and make him a bit happier. Someone in my comments, and thank you for this, let me know that it's actually a lot darker and deeper than that, and not to compare it to basically a Disney film because it's not like that at all. He's in a very dark place, and check the trigger warnings because it's a very emotional book. It's so different to anything on my current TBR, isn't it? I'm just really interested to see exactly what this story is and what it's about. So that's A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. This is turning out to be such a good TBR. Oh my gosh, my hair is sticking to everything. I don't know what I'm doing there. Right, let's do... I'm so hot. I can't have the windows open on the fan going because it picks up like outside noise. Let's do pick number 5. As always, I'm going to do 6 picks. Give myself a bit of a variety for the month. So pick number 5, we have maybe a fantasy. Maybe we could do a fantasy now. Oh, I can see through the back of this one. It says a sci-fi. Not a fantasy, but still something very different. I don't... Is Ministry of Time sci-fi? Oh no, that doesn't look like sci-fi. I think it's a bit of like historical fiction. Historical fiction and time travel, I think that is. So I don't have anything else here. Let's go, I'm so hot. Let's go to Goodreads. What do we have on Goodreads for sci-fi? I don't actually think I have that many. There's one that comes to mind. The one that comes to mind is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is a big series, isn't it? Red Rising. I don't really know much about what this is about. I just know that it's actually quite a long series, but a lot of people do like it, which is why it's on my TBR. It did sound quite interesting. I think it's like maybe in space. Maybe there's a bit like factions, a bit like Divergent, where different colour codes mean, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to say too much. I think it's something like that. But Red Rising is one. Is that the only sci-fi I have on my TBR? The Memory Collectors. Oh no. Okay, so I've just had to do a bit of research because I was clearly misinformed about what the science fiction genre involved. But time travel is included as science fiction. So The Ministry of Time is considered sci-fi. I could read The Ministry of Time. We also have The Memory Collectors, which is a new release by a complete new author to me. I haven't heard much about this book at all. I think Kalila D mentioned it as like one she wanted to read this year, and it sounded really interesting when she spoke about it. So, oh. I was just reading the Goodreads description of it. Okay, so it looks like 4 strangers time travel back in time for an hour of their choosing, like in their past lives. So if you could go back in time and choose an hour of your life, which hour would you choose to relive? So that's what happens. 4 strangers travel back in time for that hour, but when their hour extends beyond 60 minutes, they find themselves stranded in the past. As their paths intertwine unexpectedly, they unearth shocking secrets hidden in the shadows of their shared lives. All their lives were shattered on the same night on a secluded highway by the beach. Oh, so it's a bit like a mystery as well. Is this technically sci-fi just because it's got time travel? I guess time travel is like pretty science fiction, isn't it? Because it does make sense. Okay, so I think I've just let you know what my choice is. I am going to read The Memory Collectors by, is it Deet Mesverse? Like I said, I don't know much about it other than what I've just read, and it sounds really interesting, very different to everything else that I've picked, and I think it's going to be a really good read. So I'm happy with that one, The Memory Collectors. So now I could really do with a fantasy. At the moment, we don't have a fantasy on the TBR. We have a real good selection though, don't we? There's like a bit of everything in there. Come on, fantasy. Fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. Although I don't know what I would choose. Final pick number 6, we have... Starts with the first letter of the month. Oh, July. We're doing July. So, starts with J. Nothing starts with J. My name starts with J, Jamie. Nothing starts with J. Okay, right, let's see. Author, title, sorting by title. We down to J, J, J. There's no J. I have, so the last on I have It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, and then the first on K is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Do I choose from those? Maybe that's like the fairest. I either choose another pick and put that one back in, or I choose one of those 2 books. Now I feel like it's my choice if I want to cheat or not, if I want to read those. Catabasis is one that I want to read, and it is a new release, so it would be a fun one. Or I could do It's a Love Story because that's a new release as well. All of these are new releases. Oh, there's some really good reviews on It's a Love Story. Oh, they're both new releases. They're both really good. Do I want another romance or Catabasis? These are really hard questions. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to do It's a Love Story. It'll be my first Annabelle Monaghan. It'll be a fun read for summer, hopefully. I've heard good things about Annabelle Monaghan. I know she has Nora Goes Off Script, which a lot of people liked. This one could be good. Okay, so it looks like we're following Jane, who doesn't really believe in love, and she has a bit of a fake it till you make it mantra and takes that a step too far when she claims that the hottest pop star has promised to write an original song for the soundtrack to the movie that she's making. So she has to go back to this pop star of her past and I guess ask him for a favour. That sounds like really fun. So we're going to do it. We're going to do It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan as the final pick. I think that rounds off the July TBR really nicely. So let's just recap what we have. So we have Magnolia Parks by Jester Hastings. Finally, we're going to be reading this and I am actually really excited by it. I am excited. And then we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Really excited by that one too. That's going to be a good one. When in Rome by Sarah Adams. A nice, easy rom-com, hopefully. And then we have A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. A bit more of a deeper story to follow. And then The Memory Collectors by Deet Mesverse, which is going to be something very new, very different. I haven't heard anyone speaking about it or giving their thoughts on it, so it'll be really good to go into that one completely blind and see what it's all about. And then the final one is It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. 6 very good choices there. I'm just loving choosing the TBR this way so much. It's really getting me to choose a real mix of books, and I'm definitely going for books that I might not have read anytime soon. If I hadn't been doing this, I would have definitely put off some of these books, even the 2 in my hand. I would have definitely been putting off these books for longer if I hadn't chosen them this way, but as you can tell, I'm really excited to read all of them, and I feel like July is going to be such a good reading month. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these and what you thought of them, and also what's on your TBR for July as well, because I feel like I need to add some more to my list to make future months a little bit more interesting. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed choosing my TBR with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!